Injin. Injin is one of the main cleaners in Gachiakuta. He's also the leader of the Akata team, the group of combatants that our boy Rudo is now part of. But that's not all. Injin is actually the one who found Rudo after he fell from heaven into the contaminated zone. He was the guy who pulled him out and invited him to join the cleaners. You see, the cleaners are made up of around 100 people and split into 3 groups. First are the combatants, usually givers, who fight trash beasts face to face. Then you have the sentinels, who guard specific places. And finally, there are supporters. Most of them aren't givers, but they help with weapons, tracking data, and other support tasks. Now, the givers who fight are divided into 6 teams. One of those teams is the Akata group, and Injin as their leader. As for what the other teams do and who really leads all the cleaners, you'll find out later in the video. Injin is one of the strongest cleaners out there. He uses a vital instrument called Unbreaker, an umbrella that can float, block attacks, and drill through enemies when it spins fast. He's taken out trash beasts in seconds and even launched enemies into the wall. When we talk about Injin though, we can't forget to mention how best man candidate he is. He helped Rio move on from her past as a hitman and banned her from killing people ever again. He supported Zanka when he felt useless compared to Hyo. And he was there for Rudo when he felt crushed by guilt after hurting Amo. If there's one person he struggles to talk to, that would only be Kuro, who he once called a pain in the tuchus. There are a lot of mysteries about this guy too. His name, Injin, is not really his actual name. It was given to him by someone he owes big time. According to him, it comes from an old word that means fated one, and he wears that title with pride. For Injin, being the fated one means being someone others can rely on. Part of the reason why he has an umbrella as a vital instrument. He says umbrellas stand out in a crowd, just like he wants to. A symbol people can look to when they're feeling lost. The only question left is who Injin really is. At one point, Simu asked him why he cared so much about Rudo. Rudo is a stranger who has just dropped into their world, yet Injin is completely devoted to him. Almost like there's more going on. Zanka Nijiku. Zanka was raised to become a Hell Guard like his older brothers and sisters. He trained at the Central Academy and quickly climbed to the top of his class. At that time, he thought he was a genius. But then, a new trainee named Hyo joined and beat him in every way. That one moment crushed Zanka's pride. He realized he wasn't as special as he thought, that he was just average. In the past, Zanka felt he couldn't afford to lose, not even once. He wanted to reach the Golden Chair, the top rank in the Hell Guard's training program. Only the best student could sit there. But what stung even more was that Hyo didn't even care about the Golden Chair. Thanks to being humbled by Hyo though, Zanka met Injin. Zanka decided to become a cleaner to prove that even ordinary people can surpass geniuses. Zanka thinks a bit differently about people. He splits them into 2 types, geniuses and fakes. For him, there are fakes who try to mimic geniuses, fakes who try to steal from the geniuses, and fakes who speak ill of the geniuses. But what disgusts him the most is that he needs to prove himself that he's different from other fakes. Nowadays, however, Zanka has accepted the fact he's mega mediocre. And while he doesn't act like a jerk, he still carries a grudge toward naturally gifted people. He just works harder to surpass them as an average Joe. I mean, this guy is mentally strong, self-aware, and never blames others for his failures. Injin says that Zanka is the best at using vital instruments among all the cleaners, and he's proven it more than once. His weapon is called the Lovely Assist Staff. It looks like a monk's staff at first, but it's really a dangerous weapon with hidden blades and spikes that pop out. Zanka's crazy about that staff. He doesn't want anyone stealing or mistaking it for some basic walking stick. He's super skilled in battle. He's taken down trash beasts and even fought members of the Raiders. One of his biggest rivals is Jabberwonger, though their last fight ended badly for Zanka. He got wrecked. Zanka still struggles with his relationship with his siblings, especially after the Nijiku family disowned him when he became a cleaner. These days, he avoids them completely. During the Doll Festival, he even wore a mask just so they wouldn't recognize him. Zanka is also part of the Akata team and was chosen to be Rudo's trainer. Rio Reaper. Rio is also a member of the Akata team. Before she joined the cleaners, she worked as a professional hitman. Even now, some of her old habits are still evident in her best girl personality. Rio acts super chill, even when she's in a serious fight. Some people like Zanka think her playful attitude is immature. While everyone else is serious, Rio treats battles like a game. It's kinda like a hairdresser using scissors to fight a bear. Rio has a secretive past. It's something she doesn't want to talk about, and she doesn't like when people bring it up. When Kuro, the information broker, gave her a free question and pushed her to ask about her mom, Rio got cold and told him to buzz off. Her vital instrument is called the Ripper. It's a giant pair of scissors, and they're so big she actually puts her feet in the handles to swing them around. She cuts through giant trash beasts with them and even sets up her attacks so enemies get hit by 2 slices back to back. She even treats Trash Beast Extermination as if she's in a salon cutting someone's hair. And if things get really messy, Rio has a secret weapon. Well, literally. You see, Rio has a freaking firearm from her hitman days. Injin told her she's not allowed to kill anyone anymore, so she only uses it when she absolutely has to, and even then, non-lethally. In one fight against Noarde from the Raiders, when Rio realized no one was watching and that no one could hear them, she calmly pulled out the weapon and took her down. She's still alive, but Rio later thought maybe it would have been better if she had finished the job. Whether she's playing with his hair or cheering him on, Rio shows a lot of warmth and empathy for Rudo, especially since she knows what it's like to live a tough life. There are even times when it seems like she gets jealous of Amo, who's kinda being the top ship for Rudo right now. Will that ship actually sail? We'll know later for sure. Isha Stilza. Isha is the healer of the Gachiakuta team, and actually the only healer giver among all the cleaners. She uses her special ability to heal even the worst wounds and poisons. But even with all that power, Isha doesn't think she's special at all. She's really shy, barely talks, keeps her head down, and often folds her hands when someone speaks to her. Even though she's the reason her teammates survive some of their toughest fights, she always blames herself and thinks she didn't do enough. There was a time when Zanka almost died after getting poisoned by Jabberwonger. Isha treated him carefully and found out the poison was made from a mix of mud cobra, a gotta trip mushroom, and something from a trash beast. But instead of feeling proud, she said sorry because she thought she was too slow. Meanwhile, Zanka was just blown away that the huge hole in his chest healed in a week, all thanks to her. Her vital instrument is called Type Heal. It works like a power cord that runs electricity through her body. She uses that energy to heal them and repair the wounds. It's like she charges them back to life. The electricity flows from her to the injured person and brings them back from the edge. This power only works because Isha has a kind heart and knows how to control the electricity properly. If she messes up the voltage even a little, she could burn someone instead of healing them. Rudo Surreck. Rudo is the main character of Gachiakuta and later becomes a part of the Gachiakuta team too. He was born in the slums of heaven, known as the Sphere, and from the start, life didn't give him much of a choice. His arms are scarred and left in constant pain, wounds he claims came from his own parents before they abandoned him. Both of them were exiled after being accused of murder, and that stigma followed Rudo everywhere. He was taken in by Regto, who gave him a pair of gloves and told him to treasure them. If he did, Regto said a soul would live in them. Rudo grew obsessed with broken stuff. What others saw as trash, he saw as something precious. While other kids were out playing, Rudo sneaked into junk areas and fixed broken things. That's how he got the name Trash Vandal and the Sphere. But then, things got worse. Regto was killed by the Angel. Rudo got blamed for it and was tossed into the pit, a place no one was expecting to survive. Even Chiwa, the girl he liked, called him a killer. At that point, Rudo was done with kindness. He made a vow. He would return to the Sphere, kill every Celestial, and make them regret looking down on him. He refused to trust anyone from the ground. But as time passed, that began to change. After Injin recruited him, Rudo joined the Cleaners. At first, he just wanted to collect the Watchman series and find a way back to the Sphere. But being around the team slowly changed him. He got close to people like Amo, Rio, and Folo. The boy who once only cared about revenge started fighting to protect others. He began to care about the ground and learned about his ancestor, Canis Surreck, realizing his past might not be tied to the Sphere at all. Now, instead of going back to heaven, Rudo wants to uncover the truths of this world, which is a part of the Cleaners' real mission. During his first solo mission, he faced a Trash Beast alone to protect people like Folo. Though it turned into a huge mess because of a misunderstanding, but we'll talk about that more later. Fighting-wise, Rudo is undeniably strong. His vital instrument, 3R, lets him turn discarded objects into deadly tools. Whether it's a nail gun, a broken keyboard, or a dried-up paintbrush, Rudo finds a way to turn trash into a vital instrument. He can power 3 instruments at once, or concentrate his energy into one to multiply its power. But once used, those items crumble. They fulfilled their final purpose. His gloves, which are part of the Watchman series, are the key to it all. And when he takes them off, the pain in his scarred arms return. Physically, Rudo is no joke. He once broke a Trash Beast with one punch without even using a vital instrument. He's taken on Jabber, beat experienced fighters, and dodged bullets mid-air. When under Amo's ability, he blitzed both Zanka and Tamsy before they could react. Still, Rudo can be a little clueless sometimes. He often misses the vibe or says things weirdly. For example, when Folo gave him a new outfit, Rudo said no. Not because he didn't like it, but because he didn't want Folo to go through the trouble. But the way he said it made it sound like he hated it. That said, when Rudo talks, it hits. For example, when he told Kuro he wouldn't punch him if he just apologized to Rio. And yeah, while Chiwa was his first crush, the top picks for best girl now are clearly Rio and Amo. And by the way, there's actually one more Gachiakuta member whose real face and vital instrument are still a secret. Stick around to find out who that is. While you're at it, if you're enjoying the video so far, make sure to stick around until the end and hit that like and subscribe button. Alright, the trash won't clean itself. Let's dive into the next cleaner. Delman Gates is a cleaner under the Team Eager. Delman deeply loves and protects his comrades. And if anyone dares hurt them, especially his lover, he immediately labels them as unforgivable. Before joining the cleaners, Delman lived a quiet life as a farmer. His wife had a simple dream, to see a flower bloom even in the barren ground. Fueled by that dream, Delman worked non-stop. His dedication eventually awakened his vital instrument, the Great Dumbbell, also called Thirst Quencher. Born from his desire to help plants grow big, he eventually made a flower bloom, and his wife's joy became his new mission to fill their home with flowers. But everything fell apart when the raiders attacked his farm. The event left Delman deeply hurt, both physically and mentally. When he sees Rudo injured by the raiders, Delman is devastated. After learning Rudo's tragic backstory, he shouts out his apology, saying no one should have to suffer like that. Again, unforgivable. Delman's vital instrument, Thirst Quencher, looks like a normal water hose. He can control the water inside a person's body. Just one spray, and they start swelling up like sponges. If he pushes too much water, they can literally explode. The hose even has different nozzles, each with its own special effect. But the vital instruments definitely deserve their own video. So, if you want to learn more about the Thirst Quencher, the Watchman series, and more, check out this video where we explain every vital instrument, or Jinky and Gachiakuta in just a few minutes, because in that video, I left a small hint. And in this one, I'm finally revealing what it was all about. Tamsy Keynes is one of the most trusted members of the cleaners in the Team Eager. He's the kind of guy you'd want watching your back, or at least that's what everyone thinks. He's usually seen working alongside Delman, helping during fights, and supporting the rest of the team. Rudo even once called him a craptastically good guy, which shows how much he trusted him. The thing is, Tamsy is the Angel, a mysterious traveler who can move between the ground and the sphere. And more importantly, he's the one who killed Regto and framed Rudo, all just to break him. Tamsy has this twisted obsession with Rudo. He wants the old Rudo back, the Shield Hero version, filled with rage and a thirst for revenge. That's because Tamsy finds joy in Rudo's suffering. When Rudo and Folo fought, Tamsy laughed at the angry goodbye because he believed it would fuel Rudo's hatred even more. When Folo survives and awakens as a giver, Tamsy sees it as another trap that hurts Rudo more later on. As for why he's doing all this, no one knows yet. And then there's Amo. Tamsy kidnapped her and locked her up. One time, he even offered her cake just to eat it in front of her. But thanks to the Watchman book, a vital instrument that can mess with memories, Amo doesn't even realize Tamsy's the one who did all of this to her. Tamsy's weapon is a distaff called Tokushin. It uses threads to trap enemies in a net. The more they try to break free, the worse it gets. In his own words, Tamsy thinks he's misunderstood. He says he holds no anger or resentment. What drives him is something stronger, something he believes will trail after him for eternity. Whatever that is, it's definitely something messed up. Bro Santa is the leader of Team Child. He's calm, super polite, and always saying sorry for the trouble caused by his young teammates, especially Dear Santa, who doesn't really follow social rules. Whether it's pulling Dear away from stealing Rudo's sweets or fixing problems after a tantrum, Bro handles it all. They're not related by blood, but Bro clearly treats Dear and the others like family. He's like the big brother of the group. In fights, Bro uses a vital instrument called Cloth. It's a stretchy fabric that he can use to trap enemies, move people around, or even launch himself or other people through the air. Going further into Team Child is Bro Santa's family, Dear Santa. Dear communicates mostly with grunts, glares, and the occasional foot tap when he's annoyed, which is most of the time. He once gave Rudo a death stare just because Rio gave him some sweets. Then he demanded Rudo handed it all over. Bro had to step in and apologize. Dear always has his eyes on Rudo, but when Bro proudly points that out, Dear shows an extremely displeased face as if he's embarrassed. Even though he looks like a baby, Dear can throw hands. His vital instrument is a pacifier called Centralian. It powers him up, and every punch he lands drains energy from his opponents and makes him even stronger. Gita Heavy Fantasia, a member of Team Child. Gita acts more like a hyper kid, constantly touching people, asking weird questions, and throwing out broken English like dat and dis, with a D mid-sentence. Her vital instrument is a giant onesie that turns into a massive kaiju-like beast. One time, she turned into a huge fluffy monster just to cushion everyone's fall like a human pillow. She can control how big she gets, and it seems like there are levels to her transformation. Bro usually stops her from going past level 3, which means things might get dangerous if she does. During the battle with the raiders, when Gita heard they were inside a Trash Beast, she got super hyped. She jumped out from hiding and yelled that it was time for a monster fight between her and the Trash Beast, which was actually a failed Watchman series made by Zodil, the leader of the raiders. Gris Rubian. Gris is one of the most dependable supporters in the cleaners. In fact, while others see this role as inferior, since supporters are cleaners who don't have vital instruments, Gris takes pride in it, and he gets the job done. He doesn't have a vital instrument, but carries a knife for self-defense. Not that he really needs it. His bare hands and grip strength are strong enough. Just one handshake from him made Rudo flinch. And once, he crushed a Trash Beast's armor with one hand. Before every mission, Gris quietly prays to a small amulet for everyone's safety. He doesn't talk much about it and gets embarrassed if someone brings it up. But during one fight, Rudo turned that amulet into a full-on vital instrument. It broke afterward, but Gris didn't mind. He was just happy it helped someone. One thing about him though is that he drives recklessly. His driving is apparently so dangerous that even if they were to fall off a cliff, no one would bat an eye. So if you ever see a Trash Beast flying through the air like it got hit by a truck, that was probably Gris. Follow Tonito. Follow is a supporter who wants to protect people and prove that even someone who is a faceless mob can be strong. That's why he joined the Cleaners and worked hard as a supporter. However, he's hiding a lot of heavy insecurities. He hated being underestimated, hated feeling like he was being looked down on, and even though he admired people like Rudo, he couldn't help but feel small standing next to them. His dream started with his childhood friend, Alan. Alan found an old hammer in a polluted area and kept it, hoping it would awaken as a vital instrument one day. But it never did. Alan gave up and handed the hammer to Follow. That moment crushed Follow. In truth, he just really wanted to be a worthy rival for his friend and prove that even people like them could become somebody. So after receiving the hammer, Follow dashes to Injin, Gris, and Zanka and asks them to let him be a cleaner. That same hammer eventually awakened and became a vital instrument named Alan. Its ability works like this. The more hits it takes, the more energy it stores. Once it reaches the limit, it releases everything in one huge blast. But after that, Follow has to start over again. Follow's turning point came during a mission with Rudo. A misunderstanding mixed with years of bottled up feelings led to a fight. It hit Follow hard because he didn't want to end up like Alan, but he felt like he was acting just as weak and pathetic. He even thought Rudo would never understand what it means to be average. But after the fight, they talked, made peace, and finally became true friends. On the verge of death, Follow even tried to give his hammer to Rudo, hoping he could still be useful and help him. However, Rudo refused to let him give up. Somehow, that was when Follow awakened into a true giver, and the two defeated the Dust Trash Beast together. So what happens is that Rudo has this mysterious ability to transfer his anima to others, and he unknowingly sent it to Follow, meaning he became a catalyst for him to awaken as a giver. Follow already had a foundation to become one. The question is, when their boss, Arca learned of that and that Follow managed to use his powers without physical contact with the hammer, as he was wearing gloves, he looked at Rudo with a really strange reaction. Ultimately, Follow survived and asked Isha to let him keep his scars. At first, he still planned to stay a supporter, as he had always wanted. But after everything, he made the choice to become a combatant and officially join the Akata team. Tome Mima is one of the most dependable cleaners around. Her job is to document everything about Trash Beasts, how they look, how they fight, and what their weak points are. When some of the team got trapped by the Spade Jinky user, Tome was clearly scared. Still, she even went out of her way to find a working phone in town just to call Injin for help. Amo once said Tome would make a great mom, and it's easy to see why. She even comforted Rudo when he thought Gris had died. Tome is the kind of person who can stand in the middle of chaos, calm as ever, just to take notes. Her eye for detail is sharp. During Follow and Rudo's fight with the Dust Trash Beast, she is the one who picked up on the fact that Tamsy isn't really trying to help. Gris calls her a career woman who casually does everything flawlessly, but Tome says it's because she's surrounded by daredevils. Makes sense, someone's gotta keep the record while everyone else is blowing stuff up. She also knows some first aid. When Delman attacked Injin, Tome patched him up. She did the same for Amo and Follow later on. And when Rudo learned what Tome actually does for the team, his eyes lit up. He probably thought she was just standing around every mission. Mildrreta. Mildrreta is a supporter from the Cleaners South Branch, based in Krypia, a place that handles the South Ward, No Man's Land, and Tori. Before joining the Cleaners, Mildrreta was part of the warrior tribe Cilia, a powerful group that got wiped out when a trash storm hit her hometown, Sinozama, 6 years ago. Mildrreta officially shows up in the story when Rio is hospitalized after being injured, thanks to Kuro's schemes. Mildrreta immediately scolds the HQ squad for heading into No Man's Land without notifying the South Branch, and tops it off by calling their mission stupid for trying to save a raider. Her irritation got so bad that Midge needed to assure Rio that Mildrreta was just worried. Later, when Mildrreta finds out that Rio knows about Cilia and Norade, someone from her tribe, she is extremely curious about why. When Gris offers to take the wheel for the long trip from the South Branch to the HQ, Mildrreta shuts him down with, "I don't need your awkward chivalry. Be a good boy and let me take care of you." Even Gris and Rio had to admit how cool she was. Midge is a supporter from the Cleaners South Branch who works alongside Mildrreta. When she and Mildrreta show up to help the HQ squad, she's genuinely happy to see Rio safe after the last messy battle and wants her to rest up. What's more, she's the only one who can decode Mildrreta's tsundere behavior. When Mildrreta goes off on one of her angry rants, Midge just steps in with a soft smile and says, she's just worried. Aside from Midge and Mildrreta, there's one more supporter from the Southern Branch named Agra. who Midge was talking to through the choker, but we didn't see what they looked like. Isha Stilza. August is the cleaner's go-to guy when it comes to clothes, masks, or anything attire related. He's the artisan behind the Colosso brand, a famous clothing brand in the ground. And this guy takes his fashion very seriously. He's even more curious about Rudo, specifically about his clothes, and wants to know more about the clothes in the sphere. He's the one who made Rudo's mask and the cleaner's uniforms and even designed the squad's outfits for the doll festival. August doesn't do the bare minimum. The guy says he puts 130% into every outfit, and you'll believe it when you see his work. He's loud, passionate, and a bit of a drama king when it comes to design. He tends to procrastinate when you give him a deadline. Leave him alone though, and he'll create masterpiece after masterpiece in record time. Fun fact, he claims he's been attending the doll festival since he was 0 years old. Another fun fact is that he's also Isha's brother and the total opposite of her personality. Fu Orister used to be a part of the Raiders, but now he's doing a trial run with the Cleaners. After failing to fight Injin, he surprisingly ended up helping them several times not long after. Fu is the kind of person who panics when no one gives him clear instructions. He believes that if he just follows someone else's orders, then nothing is his fault. The blame falls on whoever gave the command. It's obvious he went through something in his past that left a deep scar. He's scared of making his own decisions. If nobody tells him what to do, he completely freezes. During one mission, he even shouted, "Orders! Orders! Somebody please give me orders!" But as for what really happened to him, we still don't know. Fu joined the Raiders because Zodil promised to help him overcome that weakness. Spoiler alert, he didn't. But that path did lead him to Enjin, who Fu now low-key worships. Once he realized the Raiders had abandoned him, Fu jumped ship and eventually straight up offered himself as Enjin's minion. He even spilled the Raiders' secrets, including information about Ammo, just so he could stick with the Cleaners. Now, even with his shaky past, Fu is fighting alongside Rudo's team at the doll festival. He's got a vital instrument called He, which is actually a cursed doll. If Fu doesn't get any commands, he takes control of his body and turns him into a living weapon. It's like his flesh becomes part of a vital instrument all on its own. The Adoroy Brothers are Cleaners from the South Branch. They're the ones who interrogated Fu to make sure he didn't see the Cleaners as enemies. These two look like small humanoid figures with skeleton-like features, and after a bit of back and forth, they decided to trust him. They are confirmed givers, but no one really knows if those tiny bodies are their actual forms or if they're vital instruments being controlled. Mildrreta calls them twins and clearly adores them. She even gives them a ride to the doll festival and works in their place just so they can enjoy their rare day off. They also seem to perform some kind of act or show on stage during the festival. Simu works as a receptionist at Cleaners HQ. She's part of Team Front, a special squad that reports directly to Arca, and she's got one of the most dangerous powers in the group. Her vital instrument is a pair of glasses called eyes. At the most basic level, they boost her vision so she can catch tiny movements, spot weird behavior, and even see a person's true nature. But if she really pushes it, those glasses let her look into the future. That means dodging bullets, missiles, or anything thrown at her. However, eyes can't predict bizarre or illogical abilities, and the further she tries to see ahead to the future, the more it risks her going blind. Simu seems to be close to Injin too. Normally, she gets excited over drinks whenever she has a day off. So, when Injin sees she's acting serious, he knows she's about to use her power despite the recoil. That's because Arca apparently sensed something big was coming. She's also the first person you meet when trying to join the Cleaners. If someone has bad intentions or is hiding something dark inside, she'll spot it instantly. When Follow awakened as a giver, Simu analyzed the event and figured out exactly what triggered the change. She's also seen the curse growing inside Rudo, one that might just destroy the world someday. Ammo Impool. As a child, Amma was sold by her own mother to a man driven insane by the Watchman Boots. He kept her isolated in a tower, giving her gifts in exchange for performing twisted ceremonies, the kind of stuff too dark to spell out. Amma was too young to understand it, but she believed it was love. It wasn't. Now, if Amma ever feels used or unloved, her emotions go out of control. One moment she's exploding in anger, the next she's calm and smiling again. To her, love means everything, even to an obsessive level. One day, a mysterious angel showed up and lent the Watchman Boots to Ammo, saying it fits her better. The vital instrument responds to Ammo, and after accidentally pushing the man off the tower after a fight, Ammo becomes its new user. Her vital instrument is a pair of boots from the Watchman series. They let her manipulate scent, releasing the smell of someone the target once loved. That scent alone can trap someone in an illusion, making them think they're seeing a person from their past, the one they love the most, or have romantic feelings for. When she used her ability on Rio, she even caught a glimpse of her past, though she couldn't fully understand it. Amma was later kidnapped by Tamsy, but because the Watchman book was messing with her memories, even after being rescued by Rudo, she didn't realize Tamsy was the one who hurt her. She even felt relieved when he helped rescue her. Now, she's officially a part of Team Front and even models August's new uniforms. She literally calls herself a sight for sore eyes to heal your weary hearts. When Rudo heard that, he basically glitched out. Ammo might be falling for him, which is sweet unless it turns a little yandere. She still dislikes Injin though. No matter how many times he compliments her, she shuts him down with the straightest face ever. But for Rudo's sake, she said she'll try not to hate him. Arca told Amo that her power can actually heal people, but it's still not complete. Amo joined the cleaners to grow stronger by experiencing all kinds of feelings, both happy and scary. She's also one of the keys to reaching the sphere. Right now, she's being trained by Rio and is with Rudo's group at the Doll Festival. Her power was the perfect counter to undo Mimo's hypnotic ability. Arca Corvus is the boss of the cleaners, and he might be one of the people who knows the most about the world's secrets. Even the strongest members like Injin trusts his leadership completely. But trusting him doesn't mean they understand him. He's covered in mystery. Arca has a strange eye tattoo that moves on the back of his head. No one knows what it really means. And even though he's a confirmed giver, we have no idea what his vital instrument is. That's how secretive he is. Boondis once said that even knowing Arca has a sweet tooth is already rare intel. He hides his true identity so well, even from his own comrades. Follow even said that he talks like a shady salesman. When Rudo first joined the cleaners, Arca was away. But once he got back, he immediately caught up, probably thanks to Simu's reports. He then tested Rudo in person. Arca told him that people who join for shallow reasons don't belong in the cleaners. But after seeing Rudo risk his life, he personally welcomed him in. Injin calls him a know-it-all. And mysteriously, Arca takes a few days off from time to time, saying he just needs space to process his thoughts. Whether that really is the case is a bit of a mystery. You see, Arca wants to uncover the mysteries of the world. The cleaners were never just about fighting trash beasts. It was actually an organization formed long ago to clean up trash beasts and clear away the debris that buried the world's secrets. The thing is, most of the cleaners don't even know that. Arca admits he's been using his people to move closer to the truth. He doesn't call himself righteous. And even so, he's determined to keep going for his friend. As for who that is, we still don't know. To Rudo, Arca seems genuine. When Rudo brought up his ancestors, Arca did something unexpected. He knelt. Then he gave Rudo his full support and asked him to join him in uncovering the world's secrets. Rudo agreed and Arca was clearly moved, so much so that the eye tattoo on his neck looked like it was smiling. Arca can see things like Simu. He sees people's feelings, their potential, and what's about to happen. That's why he deliberately placed Amo in team front. Every move Arca makes seems to be part of a bigger plan. Shikag, also known as the Invincible Shut-In, is a member of the cleaners under Team Akita. His main job is to protect the cleaners HQ. He's always shown wrapped up in a blanket, with just his eyes peeking out. Nobody knows what he really looks like. Shikag doesn't go on outside missions with Rudo and the others, but when it comes to defending the HQ, he's the strongest shield they've got. He proved this during the Marauders' attack, where he stood his ground to protect the base. We don't know what his vital instrument is yet, but he's always seen using a laptop to monitor everything happening in HQ. Some think it might be the laptop or even the blanket itself. Shikag has a powerful ability that allows him to ban people from entering the HQ if they have bad intentions or don't have his permission. That's how he keeps the place secure. But despite all that power, Shikag was clearly terrified when the Hell Guards visited. Aside from Shikag, there are still a lot of cleaner members whose faces, powers, or vital instruments we haven't seen yet. But as of now, these are the only known cleaners in the series. If you want to learn more about the world of Gachiakuta, we've made a series of videos that cover everything you need to know. Watch this next.